Welcome to day 71 of the 77-day video challenge. We are in the home stretch. Well, happy Bad Poetry Day, happy Serendipity Day, and happy, golly willikers, I forgot what that one was. Never Give Up Day. You see, I found my notes, but just to make certain that I had that, I didn't lose faith. I did not give up. Earlier today, I reflected a little bit about my tendency to overthink things. I have to compartmentalize everything, and I have to overanalyze things. And in a couple of messages that I've had with my sister over the course of this project, of the 77-day video challenge, she has mentioned that there are things that have reminded her of our father. And one of the things that has come up that I recognize I take after my father with regard to is the tendency to overanalyze things, to overthink things, and to analyze people without sufficient or appropriate, rather, introspection. That I recognize that I tend to try to figure people out, but then I remain a bit opaque. Because that's one of the things that my father used to do, is that he professionally would help people work through their problems, but then he could be a complicated man, and I've grown to be a complicated man who overanalyzes things. So even though I didn't inherit his sparkling blue eyes, I do take after him in some regards, not in the most flattering way. I also recognize that I overanalyze things, or rather overthink things, because I tend to start sentences over. And my friends who have counted ums and uhs and grammatical peculiarities in the course of Toastmasters meetings have called me out on this. I said, you started that sentence over, or you had a couple of repeats. You changed the course of that particular sentence, that statement, because you decided on a different word. I recognize I do that, and sometimes when I've watched a few of these little videos after the fact, and I just have the closed captioning on, instead of actually listening to my own voice, the closed captioning picks up some of those repeats and re-evaluations of my vocabulary. That's a bit amusing to me, because I am entertained to see that made real, made tangible, made visible to me, rather than the words just ricocheting in my own head, and worse still, ricocheting in other people's ears to the point of distraction. Hence, I overanalyze things. I reevaluate what I'm saying right in the middle of saying it. This is a habit I would probably do well to break. I need to reevaluate my tendency to reevaluate my statements. I mentioned that today is Never Give Up Day. One of the most important things for us never to give up is growing, changing, evolving as people. That's absolutely instrumental to why I chose to embark on this somewhat sometimes tedious little journey to discover myself and perhaps elicit from some of you who are watching these some feedback on what would make me a better rounded person. Last night I talked about my frustrations with not dating very often or not dating very successfully. And then I would probably do well to get a little bit of feedback on what may be blocking me. But then it's one thing to prepare and never give up. But then it's also important at the same time to welcome serendipity, to recognize the happy accidents that intervene into our lives and welcome those opportunities to be spontaneous. Yet another quality that I could probably benefit from a little practice. That's right. Practice at being spontaneous. Okay, I realize that's a bit of an oxymoron, but I'm being spontaneous at this moment. That's one of the elements of this exercise is that I come into these little moments, these little video blogs with very little preparation. Sometimes I just look at the notes, find the wacky holiday that I might comment on, and then speak off the cuff. So thank you for bearing with me through the first 71 days. We'll see what these remaining 6 days may bring. So, in that spirit, happy Never Give Up Day and a happy Serendipity Day. Be persistent, be spontaneous, live your life to its fullest. These are some things that I need to welcome as well. In the meantime, thank you again, and I will see you on day 72 of the 77-day video challenge.